Can the people that you lead tell you when it's too much or they're feeling overwhelmed? Not in theory, but in practice. If they were behind and struggling to keep up, would you hear about it in time to do something? Or would you find out 6 months later when the results came back worse than you expected? I've been thinking about this because of something that happened with one of our clients recently, and I want to talk through it because there's such good leadership lessons in it. We're partnering with a large public transportation provider on a 7-month development program for their leaders. And at the midpoint of the program, we did something we always do. We checked in with them by asking anonymously, what do you like and what do you not like? And the feedback was really overwhelmingly positive, very affirming. But threaded through it was something else. They felt like they were behind. They were having a hard time keeping up with the assignments, with the content. It felt like a lot, and they wanted to ensure that they were getting it right. Gosh, we were so grateful for the feedback, and we heard them. There was a plan for that next workshop. We had content built. We had a place we were supposed to be by that date. And the easy thing, the thing that would have felt like progress, was to just power on, do the module. Maybe acknowledge the feedback at the top of the session, tell them, thank you, we heard you, but then teach the workshop anyways. But that is not what we did. We used the entire workshop to push pause instead. No new content. Thank you for the feedback. Here's what we heard. You are valid in that. And we gave them space to reflect on all of the content that we've covered and to work on the work, applying it directly to the personal project that each of them is carrying through the program. And I want to break down why we did that, because it was not at all a concession. It was very purposeful. 2 of our 5 non-negotiables about how leaders grow are right in the middle of this. One of those non-negotiables is that growth happens when it's psychologically safe. Well, they told us the truth. They told us they were struggling, which means they trusted us enough to say the hard thing. And what you do with that information is what determines whether they will ever say it again. If we had thanked them and kept moving, we would have taught them that we ask for feedback as a formality. Yeah, so we honored that trusting, safe environment. The other non-negotiable is that growth takes the time, and it takes place over time. And you cannot honor that one while cramming and moving on. Because here's what was actually happening. They were not behind on the content. They were behind on integrating the content into their day-to-day. There is a difference, and that difference matters. Knowing a concept and being able to use it in your actual job with your actual team are 2 very different things. And the second one only comes from time spent with it. So the reflection wasn't a break from the learning. It was the learning. That 2 hours where they sat with their project and worked out how they are applying all of the things that they're learning and how they're moving it forward, that's where it becomes theirs. So here's the leadership reflection in this. Most of us treat the plan as the promise. We told the team we'd cover these 12 things by December. So we cover 12 things by December, and we measure ourselves on coverage. But the promise was never the content. The promise was the growth. And when you hold on to a schedule that people can't absorb, you're protecting your own sense of being on track at the expense of the thing that you said you were there to do. In this case, it was growth. So we had to honor that promise. The other thing is that a pause is not a stop. We didn't cut the program short or lower what we were asking of them. everything we're building towards is still there. We just made room in the middle of it so that it would land. I'd rather extend the experience so that people can actually use what they are given. Something I've noticed in this work over and over is that people rarely need less of the thing. They need more of the thing, more time to reflect on, what does this mean for me? That's true of leaders learning to lead. And honestly, it's true of most of us with most of what we're trying to change about ourselves. So my question is, where are you moving at the pace of the plan instead of the pace of the people? And if you ask your team at the midpoint of whatever you're in the midst of right now, what would they tell you? Would they tell you the truth? Ask them anyways. Then be willing to do something with the answer. What a great way to take care of yourself and ultimately each other.